Hello guys, welcome back. So let's do some Halloween thrift store makeovers. So I'm going to start out with this pink ornate frame. I started giving it a coat of Merlot from Waverly Chalk Paint. This paint is very old. I'm not even sure if it's still available. This color was coming out a little too translucent. So I do switch over to black paint and I just kind of mix the two colors together. So this frame did take about 2-3 coats. There was just so much detail and nooks and crannies to get into. So to add some dimension and bring out all that detail, I'm just going to go in there with some gilding wax from Dixie Belle. So I did already have some witch pictures that I printed from Etsy last year. I go ahead and pop one of those into this frame and we are all done. So I actually set this up with a little cauldron that I picked up at Dollar Tree for $5. So if you're ever at Dollar Tree and come across this cauldron, it is super cute. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and use this IOD mold and I'm going to give this little pumpkin a little makeover. So I'm going to start out by giving this just a little light sanding. It did have some glitter, so I'm just going to try and sand that down a bit. These little dots still come through my paint, but I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and prep my mold here. I'm adding some baking powder so my clay doesn't stick. So I go ahead and add my clay into my mold here, and I'm just using my thumb to take off any of the excess clay. And I do end up making these leaves, but I don't end up using them, but I'm sure I will use them in a future project. So using some Titebond, I'm going to go ahead and glue the sunflower right on top of the pumpkin. And I did add some Titebond to the pumpkin as well on top, just to make sure that this doesn't go anywhere. Gently, I try to push it into all the little crevices of the pumpkin, and as you can see, I did get a little separation, but I just pushed that back in, and once I painted it and everything, it doesn't even show. And right here, I am going in with the color Merlot from Waverly Chalk Paint, and I'm just giving it a full coat all over the pumpkin. And I just want to quickly mention that this video I actually started to record a couple weeks ago, and I'm going back to the edits I did at the beginning, and my voice sounds already very muffled, which is right before I got sick, and it's just been very hard to get back on track, but I am here, and hopefully I can get most of those Halloween videos that I had planned out for you guys to watch. So while the paint is still wet, I do go in with the color ink from Waverly Chalk Paint. I add it to the middle. You can kind of see it here in the middle of the pumpkin. And then I just start blending that Merlot color up into the black, just to create a kind of like a ombre blended look going into the black. I didn't mean to do that. That's kind of just a little happy accident. So once it is completely dry, I'm going to go in with the Dixie Belle gilding wax, and I'm just going to hit that all over the details, and eventually I do get the rest of the pumpkin, just kind of dry brushing that gold right over all the detail. Then I'm just going to add in a little stem that I created with some clay a couple weeks back. I stick a little dowel into the stem and glue it in there, and that is it for this one. So I did pick up these little ghosts from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just kind of creating some texture and kind of making it seem like has little flowy cover on or whatever it's called. I don't even know what to call it. But I'm using some plaster. I'm creating the texture. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then I'll come back and clean up the edges. So for the excess around the edges, I just kind of break it off. I thought I was going to have to sand it, but it actually breaks off fairly easy. Even if you get it around the eyes, you just have to kind of poke it out and it comes right off. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these up with some Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. And again, just to bring out all that detail that I created with that plaster, I'm going to go in with some gilding wax just to make that all that texture stand out. I'm just kind of dry brushing it on there right over the texture. So these are going to go into some little thrifted frames. I am going to cover, well, I cut out some cardboard and I am going to cover that cardboard with some black fabric. But first, I am going to hit these frames with some gilding wax. I do want them gold. I did put these in my booth and they did already sell, and they did sell super quick. I don't really price them too high. The little ghosts are from Dollar Tree, so I just like to add those little bit of smalls that are inexpensive in case somebody just wants to buy something from the booth. I do like to have those little inexpensive smalls. So to adhere my fabric to my cardboard, I am using that adhesive spray. I'm going to lay the fabric right on top of that and just smooth it out. This is just the quickest way I have figured out to get the fabric on there without having so much wrinkles. And like when I did it with hot glue, you can actually see the hot glue through the fabric. So I just figured that this was the easiest way. So I did go ahead and add some hot glue and reinserted my cardboard into my frame. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add my ghost right on top. And I did attach those with some hot glue. Then I'm just going to go in with this dry florals from, I don't even know, I think these were the Goodwill bins. I'm just going to create some little bouquets to make it look like the little ghosts are holding them up. So I went ahead and wrapped those with some ribbon, and then I'm just going to hot glue them to my ghost. And that is it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. So I have a couple of these little brooms that I'm going to make into witch brooms for some Halloween decor. So I'm going to get some black lace and I'm going to go ahead and wrap the little brown areas on my broom here with some lace. And I've just been trying to use up some of this black lace. I have a huge roll of black lace that I'm just trying to work through. So I'm also going to make a little black lace bow to go on my broom. So to create my bow, I just cut 2 or 3 pieces of lace. I crossed them over each other as you see here. Then I'm just going to pinch the center and tie that up with some ribbon. Then using some hot glue, I'm just going to attach that to the bottom of the broom. I wasn't sure which one I was going to do, whether the top or the bottom. I ended up doing the bottom. I just like how the flowiness of the lace goes over the bottom of the broom. So I did attach it to the bottom. So for the center of my bow, I did decide to attach this IOD mold. I think it's from the Cameos mold. And I just paint that gold and I glue that to the center of my bow. So using some velvet ribbon, I'm just going to create a little hanger. And I didn't like how the hot glue was coming through the lace, so I do end up covering that up with another piece of velvet ribbon. And that is basically it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed these easy little thrift flips into some Halloween decor. I do hope to have at least one more video, hopefully 2, for some Halloween thrift flips. So if you're interested in seeing that, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. And for those of you who have been here and have left me some sweet comments, I truly appreciate it. So again, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.